Okay. Okay guys, thanks for joining me. This time we've got a problem with we've got a tri-lock door here, meaning that when you turn the knob, the door automatically unlocks, or you can lock it by pressing the button, or by the key, which is also a deadlock. So the way this functions is you shut the door, press the button and it locks. But when you want to leave and open the door, you turn the handle and it's supposed to pop out and unlock automatically. Now at the moment it's sort of working not bad, but we had stages where it wasn't working at all. You have to physically put the key in to unlock it. So I've had this trouble before many years ago. This lock we're going on 23 years old, so she's seen some use, and they tend to get a bit dry in the mechanism inside there, so we need to pull it apart and give it a bit of lubrication with some a dry lubricant. This is graphite powder. So we'll unscrew that and get into it. You can just keep sticking. Off she comes. Okay. Here's the internals of that mechanism. So when you turn the door handle, that drives a gear which drives this square drive, which in turn drives this square drive to pull your striker in to allow you to open the door. This part of the mechanism is working really well, so I'm pretty sure that that's not, because I can see some lubrication on that. Even though it's not a dry lubrication, it's a wet lubrication, but it's still wet and it's functioning quite well. I think the problem is within this part of the lock, where the striker, or the actual bolt, it's your striker plate, is having difficulty retracting. Because I put this is the little cam that drives from the outside to the inside to do the unlocking, but it's the same, will fit on this, and I can use it as a handle. And as I'm trying to turn it, well, that's why it's going that way, but I can feel resistance before it goes, and it has to be forced. As you can sort of see, I'm pushing and it's sort of hard, and then all of a sudden it goes. So I think either it needs a bit of lubrication, there's a dry spot right there, or it's developed a bit of a step from wear. So either way, I'm going to have to remove this part and suss out what's going on inside there. Alright, we're back, and now the lock is totally, well, disassembled, and I think I may have found the culprit. This is the actual locking mechanism. There we go. So if you can see that little ridge there, that's actually a bit of debris, and I just moved it, and that's a build-up of grit over the years getting into there. Could be a bit of wear from the metal, like cam, because there's a little can that runs in on there. slides in and out, and it's created like a little bit of a ridge, but it's actually just a build-up of lubricant and just middle particles over the years, and it's created a bit of a step. Now that'll actually remove. I might need to give it a little bit of a file up just to get it clean, and then that, I think that's that step that I've been trying to get over, but at the initial turn point. It is a little dry in here too, so we'll add some graphite powder as well once we clean it all up. But I think that was it. It's just had that little bit of gunk built up there that's sort of gone hard and was stopping it from sliding. That and a bit of lack of lubricant is the culprit. Okay, so we'll clean this up, and then basically all I'm going to do is to sort of squirt some graphite powder in there to get that mechanism, because there's a spring in here, get that mechanism moving, and I might smear some around this part here so that it slides nicely again. But yeah, that's just a little build-up of debris that caused that problem, and I think we'll be trouble-free for many a year again. Though there are plans in the future to change this door, the whole opening, to a wider door, and I may even just change the lock. Well, I'm definitely going to change the lock to some sort of new keyless entry type mechanism in the future. In a future video, I'll bring. Okay, we're back. I've cleaned up the debris and given it a lube inside, and I wiped graphite. Whoop, you just saw some fall off then. Some graphite dust over the mechanism. We're ready to reinstall it that way. Now, just rock it. We'll get it there we go. So just twist. We were twisting this as we were trying to insert that until we found it, and now it's located, and that's going in a lot easier than it was earlier. So now I've refit these screws to lock that barrel into where it's supposed to be. Okay, and there we go. So that's in, and that's really working a lot nicer than it was earlier. I'll still have to fit the other parts, and we'll try it before I fully assemble it. Okay, right. Alright, so we've got it installed, and before I go putting it all back together again, we're going to check to make sure that what we've done is fix the problem. So the problem I had was when I was turning this, it felt like something was stopping it from at the initial point, which now it's sliding really nice and easily than before. But I suppose the ultimate test is now we'll shut the door. So now we've got the seal putting pressure on the door, and how easy does it? So all we need to do is clear away some of that grit and give it a bit more lube, and you see now this just wants to pop right out. And I'll even go as far as we'll test the lock. It's latched, so we'll unlock it with the key, and that worked quite nicely. And we can also, it has a deadlock function where you keep going and it extends the deadlock, the bolt, deeper into the frame, and that's deadlocked now. Now we're undeadlocked and unlock the door. So that's all working really nice and smoothly now. So I can continue the final assembly of the door. Okay, now we'll fit this little, it's meant to be a little cover. Just make sure you put it on, because this has a flat section and round section. We want to make sure we put it on the right way around. So that's nice and free. We can turn it nice and free from that way. We'll check it against latch. All working really nicely. Okay, so now we need to actually remove that. Give that a little bit of a turn. There we go, we're in. Outside. Now, there we are. Lock it, rotate the doorknob clockwise direction, and our bolt clicks in. Here's our function. The door is locked. Turn the knob clockwise. The lock hits the cam, pops the lock out, and retracts the bolt. Locked, unlocked. Whereas before we were having a bit of trouble, and now it's very simply like that. Alright, and we'll just check the key before we do all the bolts to make well. So let's put the deadlock out, and now even with the deadlock you can't unlock that. See, that's unlocked and it won't unlock. So we'll remove the deadlock. And now we should be able to unlock the door. Locked. Beautiful. So we can continue to finish off the other two screws. These are actually have a square drive in them, so they won't rotate once they're inserted. There's a square hole in here that square drive mounts up with, so they won't rotate, because you don't want somebody from the outside being able to unscrew your lock to pull it apart. So all the screws are always mounted on the inside for that reason. Lock the door, and very easily now. There we go. We'll even try it from the other side. So make sure it works from the other side when you open and close the door. And that was with the key from the other side. That's it, we're done. Just a little quick one that is a tri-lock lock that's self-opening from the inside when it's not deadlocked. Hope you enjoyed, hope you got something out of it. Bye bye.